Today we're going to switch gears for a moment. Oh god, that was too good. I am so proud of that one. We are going to switch gears for a moment and not talk about gear. Our focus for today is, should you start a zine? And the answer is yes. Why? Because I'll buy it. I'll support you. If you want to learn what someone might be looking for when they're thinking about purchasing a zine, keep watching. And hopefully what I share in this video will convince you to start one of your own. Zines are short for magazines. They are self-published and tend to be limited run. Zines have been used by photographers to produce more affordable versions of photo books, but sometimes the term photo books can carry a more mainstream, mass publishing connotation, thus the distinction. Here are reasons why I buy anybody's zine. I'm looking for inspiration through a slow means of consuming art. Where I live, I don't have easy access to museums or galleries. With Instagram, you spend at most 2 seconds looking at a photo before you scroll away. For me, buying zines helps me to slow down. I take a moment before bedtime to look at a zine slowly and thoughtfully. I study the photos in a gentle way. Sometimes I would offer that feedback to the artist if they were open to it. The feedback is not necessarily technical or constructive, it's just, here's a photo that I saw in your zine, I felt something about it, and I just wanted you to know. No one's ever said this, but I like to think someone did say it. You are what you shoot. Through looking at the photos, I learn what you as a photographer notice. I learn what it is that you pay attention to. I learn what is considered important to you, and I just feel closer to you as an artist if I learn to observe what you've observed. Whether it's film or digital, we all know that photography can be expensive. If you're not a business and just a hobbyist, you're definitely not thriving off of likes or reposts. Selling zines won't necessarily make you money either, but it's something. I am a hobbyist, and even I know that selling prints and zines is the worst way to try to get rich. Making a zine is encapsulating a collection of images you once cared about. That's ultimately what I want to support. I am not sending your kids to college. I am not helping you buy a car. I'm helping you put more money into this money pit called photography. I'm not really sure why, but the average number of pages of a zine that I feel are enough or just the right amount to get the feeling of a collection is about 20 images. 20 to 30 images feels like a decent set of impressions in order to get an idea of what is it that they saw. But if anyone has a scientific journal or hunch as to why I think 20 to 30 is the right amount of images to include in a zine, please let me know. The topic is special to me. It could be something I don't know enough about, or a topic that I thought I knew a lot about and wanted to be surprised. For Adrian Villa's book, I'm curious what he believes are the very best of his black and white and foggy images. I've been trying my hand at foggy forest photography recently. While his style is very different from mine, there are some principles of composition that I can take away. For Jared's book, I bought this when I started getting interested in street photography. Jared is originally from Rhode Island and moved to New York City about a year ago. Jared also has a YouTube channel where he goes into detail about his journey of moving to New York City and honing his craft in the art of noticing. For Danny, I bought her book on Coney Island, specifically because in Toronto, we have this annual carnival called the Exhibition, which is nothing like Coney Island, but it's similar. And there were feelings of nostalgia that I was looking for in her book. Danny shoots semi-exclusively with disposable cameras, the Kodak Power Flash. Recently, she's been shooting with a Ricoh camera, but I believe all the photos that were taken in this book were from a disposable camera.
Disposables didn't become a regular thing until high school. So I had a photography teacher who was basically a volunteer mentor, and that was my sophomore year of high school. And he wanted us to practice taking photos using disposables because he didn't want us to buy equipment.
Yeah,
and risk
simplify it.
Yeah. So, but he said his words were, "You don't want to buy something if you don't know if you're going to stick with it."
Yeah, that's
so
really good.
A lot of people want to use like nice cameras, but then they end up not taking photos very often, or they kind of move past it, and they say it's a temporary hobby.
It was a phase.
Yes, yeah. So I knew that from that advice, I was like, okay, let me just try it out.
My favorite photo from her book is the last one, where a little girl is staring off into space, kind of a 1,000-yard stare, and it sort of evokes this sense of the day has ended and she's ready to go home and she's had a great time, but she's done. This is Conway Chung's book. As I get older, I celebrate Chinese New Year less and less. I wanted to revisit Chinese New Year celebrations in Brooklyn through his book, and I just wanted to see the world through his eyes in this moment in time. One of my favorite photos from this book is this child playing with fireworks. It evokes a little sense of loneliness, but also independence. Reminds me a little bit of myself when I was a kid, where not that I played with fireworks, but that I played on my own a lot and participated in a lot of solo activities, which probably explains why I'm interested in photography. We also got together to shoot in June in New York City, had a great time. Last but not least, for Ali's book, I didn't buy it. I'm sorry. I just kind of told him to bring me a copy when I visited Amsterdam. I figured if I'm flying over to Amsterdam, the least I could get out of this whole trip is a free zine. But please don't do that. Please support your friends, support your fellow photographers. Purchase their zines, purchase the products that they come out with. Don't do what I did. So this entire zine is shot in like low light. Like I just appreciate low light photography, night photography, anything where you're pushing your camera body and lens to extremes. And a lot of the photos in this zine are taken at night. So I think one I really like is, I think the one of his wife in London, where I think they're going down to the subway or metro. It's this one here. And I just love the movement in her hair and that she's doing something pretty routine. Sometimes simple, everyday kind of activities are what draw me in. And every so often I look through it because I see a picture in a different way, and almost like watching a movie again. There are things that you pick up on after the fact. So those are my reasons and what I look for when I buy a photographer's zine. If you are thinking about starting one, do it. Just remember to make it personal. Make it about what you feel is important to you at this moment, and be open about promoting it. Let people support you. You deserve it. I just want to take a moment to mention all the artists that I mentioned in this video and the zines that I collected. I'll also have links to their social handles and YouTube channels. Give them a subscribe, give them a follow, buy their zines. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!